question of where electricians typically locate the sign outlet required at each entrance to each tenant space in a commercial building accessible to pedestrians, as per the National Electrical Code, cannot be definitively answered without additional information. The code itself mandates the presence of at least one outlet in an accessible location at each entrance to each tenant space for sign or outline lighting system use, supplied by a minimum of a 20-amp branch circuit. This requirement aims to facilitate the connection of illuminated signage, which is crucial for businesses to identify themselves and attract customers. However, the exact placement of this outlet is not explicitly defined, leading to some variability in installation practices. To understand the common practices of electricians in Kentucky regarding the placement of these sign outlets, several factors need to be considered. Firstly, accessibility is a primary concern. The code stipulates that the outlet must be in an accessible location, meaning it should be readily reachable by maintenance personnel or sign installers without requiring specialized equipment or tools. This accessibility requirement often leads electricians to position the outlet at a convenient height, typically between 4 feet and 6 feet above the finished floor. This height range ensures that the outlet is easily accessible for connecting and disconnecting signage, while also minimizing the risk of accidental damage or tampering. Secondly, the physical characteristics of the entrance to the tenant space play a significant role in determining the outlet's location. Electricians often consider the presence of architectural features such as columns, doorways, and windows when deciding where to place the outlet. The goal is to position the outlet in a location that is both visually unobtrusive and easily accessible for connecting to the sign. In many cases, the outlet is located in the wall adjacent to the entrance door or above the door frame, provided that these locations meet the accessibility requirements. Thirdly, local building codes and regulations may influence the placement of the sign outlet. While the National Electrical Code provides a general framework for electrical installations, local jurisdictions often have their own specific requirements that must be followed. These local codes may dictate specific locations or installation methods for sign outlets based on regional considerations such as weather conditions, building materials, and aesthetic preferences. Electricians working in Kentucky must be familiar with both the National Electrical Code and any applicable local codes to ensure compliance. Fourthly, coordination with other trades is essential for proper sign outlet placement. Electricians often work closely with other trades, such as sign installers and general contractors, to determine the optimal location for the outlet. This coordination ensures that the outlet is positioned in a way that is compatible with the design and installation of the sign, and that it does not interfere with other building systems or architectural elements. The sign installer, in particular, can provide valuable input on the placement of the outlet, based on their experience with different types of signage and installation methods. Fifthly, the type of signage to be installed can also influence the placement of the outlet. Different types of signs, such as illuminated box signs, channel letters, and neon signs, may have different power requirements and connection methods. Electricians must consider these factors when determining the appropriate location for the outlet. For example, if the sign requires a dedicated disconnect switch, the electrician may need to locate the outlet near the switch for easy access. Sixthly, safety considerations are paramount in electrical installations. Electricians must ensure that the sign outlet is installed in a safe and reliable manner in accordance with all applicable codes and standards. This includes using appropriate wiring methods, grounding techniques, and overcurrent protection devices. The outlet must also be properly labeled to indicate its purpose and voltage. In addition, the electrician must consider the potential for water damage or other environmental hazards when choosing the location of the outlet. If the outlet is located in an area that is exposed to the weather, it must be protected by a weatherproof enclosure. Seventhly, the accessibility of the outlet for future maintenance is an important consideration. Electricians should strive to locate the outlet in a location that is easily accessible for future maintenance and repairs. This may involve providing adequate clearance around the outlet or installing it in a location that is not obstructed by other building elements. The goal is to minimize the time and effort required to perform routine maintenance on the sign outlet and to ensure that it can be easily repaired or replaced if necessary. Eighthly, aesthetic considerations may also play a role in the placement of the sign outlet. While functionality and safety are the primary concerns, electricians often try to locate the outlet in a way that is visually appealing and does not detract from the overall appearance of the building. This may involve concealing the outlet behind a decorative panel or integrating it into the architectural design of the building. The goal is to minimize the visual impact of the outlet while still ensuring that it is easily accessible for its intended purpose. Ninthly, the specific requirements of the tenant may influence the placement of the sign outlet. In some cases, the tenant may have specific preferences or requirements regarding the location of the outlet based on their branding guidelines or aesthetic preferences. Electricians should work closely with the tenant to understand their needs and to accommodate their requests while still ensuring compliance with all applicable codes and standards. This collaboration can help to ensure that the sign outlet is located in a way that meets the needs of both the tenant and the building owner. Tenthly, the availability of existing electrical infrastructure may influence the placement of the sign outlet. In some cases, it may be more cost-effective to locate the outlet near an existing electrical panel or conduit, rather than running new wiring to a more remote location. Electricians must weigh the cost and convenience of using existing infrastructure against the other factors discussed above to determine the optimal location for the outlet. In conclusion, the placement of sign outlets in commercial buildings in Kentucky is a multifaceted issue that requires careful consideration of various factors. While the National Electrical Code mandates the presence of an outlet at each tenant entrance, the exact location is not explicitly defined, leading to some variability in installation practices. Electricians must consider accessibility, physical characteristics of the entrance, local building codes, coordination with other trades, type of signage, safety considerations, maintenance accessibility, aesthetic considerations, tenant requirements, and availability of existing infrastructure when determining the optimal location for the outlet. By carefully considering these factors, electricians can ensure that sign outlets are installed in a safe, reliable, and aesthetically pleasing manner, while also complying with all applicable codes and standards. Additional resources and information on sign outlet placement can be found in the National Electrical Code, local building codes, and industry publications. Consulting with experienced electricians and sign installers is also recommended to ensure that the outlet is installed correctly and meets the specific needs of the tenant and the building owner. Remember that the information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice from a qualified electrician. Always consult with a licensed electrician to ensure that your electrical installations comply with all applicable codes and standards.